Hey, it's Matt Moscona. You found it. It's AFR Saints, your home for daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Please subscribe, smash the like button, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And our content this football season is presented by BetUS. Score a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. Enjoy the video. Who dat? Mike, how are you, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad the NFL, the Saints season anyway.
2025.
Yeah. And the Saints are 0-1 in 2025, but at least there's reason to believe there's reason to believe 2025 will be could be better than 2024. Hope springs eternal. And before we get to the coaching search, let me just ask you. We'll do the post-mortem on the season. I mean, you've covered a lot of these for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, is this the absolute bottom of the barrel of what you can imagine? Remember, because if I'm not mistaken, your first season was the year after the Katrina year, correct?
No, my first season was Katrina year.
Oh God,
I got to live in an apartment.
Oh my God,
I got to live in an apartment in San Antonio and cover that mess. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I covered a coaching search in January after that led to Sean Payton, and free agency that led to Drew Brees. So could all happen again.
So is this
But
one
no,
this one worse
that was
than
more
05?
That was way worse. That was way worse because there was, that team had nothing going for it. That didn't, it had Will Smith and Deuce McAllister, a couple good players to build off of, but, coming back from Katrina, we didn't know until, actually, I remember we found out right before the Week 18 game, which was also, or Week 17 game at that time, which was also in Tampa. We found out the day before that they were actually going to move back to New Orleans. We didn't know until January 4th that year that they were going to move back to New Orleans. So that got things off to a good start. But obviously they were facing much more of an uphill battle than now. But yeah, this is the bleakest it's been since then, obviously, and people want to point to all of the main reasons why. The main reason why is they don't have Sean Payton and Drew Brees anymore. Yep. So you need to find another Sean Payton, and you need to find another Drew Brees, or as reasonable a facsimiles as you can. Otherwise, you're going to be one of the have-nots in the NFL, and they are a have-not right now.
Apparently, coaches and quarterbacks in the NFL are pretty important, as we've learned. So,
Yeah.
All right. The obvious next step is, so as you sort of try to piece this thing back together into something that can resemble a respectful franchise and organization again, like, where and how do you start doing this, Mike? I mean, that's a good leaping off point because
there's only one way. There's only one way, and you can believe. Well, there's two ways, but you can believe in anything you want as far as how the Saints manage the cap. But it doesn't matter. Like, you can try to win 10 games this year. You can try to win 2 games this year. You have to draft better. You can't get out of this if you don't draft better. It's why it's my number one reason why they're in this mess outside of, losing Brees and Peyton. But they don't have any All-Pros right now. Anywhere on the roster, no Pro Bowlers. And the only ones who even come close to qualifying are, Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, and they don't have All-Pros and Pro Bowls in their future. So they need more talent. They're not getting it out of it without more talent. And then they need a really good coach and a really good direction now. The one good thing is, look at a team like the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton. Speaking of him again, but they went and it kind of seemed like a joke when they cut Russell Wilson and took on his $85 million dead hit or whatever, and it was the biggest dead money hit of any player ever. But he had a plan, and he picked a quarterback that fit his plan, and nobody thought they had an overwhelming amount of talent there, and they made it work. So maybe you hire the right coach, it can come together pretty quickly. But you got to draft better. You gotta not only find a quarterback, you got to find a couple All-Pros, which they had done for 15 years around here, and they haven't done recently.
We'll get right back to the video. We've told you all season about our great partners at BetUS, but you may not know that at BetUS, they also have a casino, and right now, they're giving you an awesome opportunity for all of our followers here on AFR who like slots, live casino dealers. You can take advantage of BetUS's amazing sign-up bonus, 200% up to $5,000 or 250% for crypto sign-up bonuses up to $5,000. You know, I love my crypto as well. Discover BetUS. The casino playground is there for you. If you're a slots enthusiast, BetUS, they've got the games to raise your pulse. Test your skills with timeless classics. You can explore the newest, hottest slots and feel the casino buzz with BetUS live dealer tables. Sign up now and get 200% sign-up bonus up to $5,000 and 250% crypto sign-up bonus up to $5,000. It's at BetUS. Discover the BetUS Casino Playground. Mike, could I argue that they have actually drafted pretty well, but what they've done poorly is retention? Trey Hendrickson, Caden Ellis, David Onyemata, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I mean, I could run through a whole bunch of dudes who are good NFL players that you drafted that aren't playing for you.
And you didn't mention Zach Bond, but
Zach Bond.
I think Hendrickson's the only one on that list that is like true that level of player. I don't know that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or Caden Ellis is turning this franchise around, and I cannot explain Zach Bond. I really can't. I don't know how he became the best linebacker in the NFL. But yeah, obviously they missed on those guys, but mostly they've missed on the first rounders. And their use of first and second round picks to package them up and trade them up. They gave one away in a first rounder away in the Davenport deal. They gave away a second rounder, or maybe even a third rounder. I can't even remember how all the math added up when they got Olave and Penning. And then they missed on Davenport, Peyton Turner, Trevor Penning to an extent. Cesar Ruiz wasn't a home run.
Yeah.
You need 4 or 5 new young cornerstones on the team that they just don't have right now.
Mike,
you got to start adding those guys.
Are they committed as an organization to a full-on rebuild?
I don't. We'll find out. I think they'll be closer to that than they've ever been before. Full-on rebuild. I'd say yes and no. I mean, I don't think they are going to stockpile 14 draft picks and trade away everyone on the roster. I don't think they're going to tank to try to get the first pick in the draft. But, I mean, they have no choice but to rebuild. That's where they are. I mean, there's 2 schools of thought on whether you try to keep winning along the way and whether you try to speed up the process. I don't think they're going to speed up the process. I think the major decision in my mind is what to do with Derek Carr. I think you can rebuild an organization without ever fully bottoming them out. But my opinion on this is you kind of look like you're going to bottom out anyway. You have no way around it, so you might as well save the money in the meantime and catch up on the cap even more while doing so.
Yeah, this isn't the bottom, by the way. I think to the point you're saying, I agree with you. There is still room to go to the very bottom of this. So, and Mike Triplett's our guest, neworleans.football, with us courtesy every Thursday during football season of Benny's Car Wash, bennyscarwash.com. So you mentioned Derek Carr. My preference was that they didn't restructure him last year, and he was done after this year. But they did it, so do you do it again? What do you do with Derek Carr?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first question is, do you keep him? Do you pay him? And you will find a way around the salary cap. It might mean you're taking the whole year off. You're not signing any new free agents. You're restructuring everybody else. You have to take a dead money hit. If you decide you're willing to do that, I say go for that. But the big question isn't whether to restructure him or not. It's whether to pay him $40 million more. That's what he's due this year.
Unbelievable.
10 of it is guaranteed. $30 million is not guaranteed. So, yeah, there's a huge salary cap hit. His salary cap hit is $50 million, but that's dead money from previous bonuses already paid out. It becomes $90 million that you have to count for over the next couple years, or $80 million actually. I'm already counting the $10 million bonus, but you save future cap money and you save cash if you cut him. So that's the big question is you have to treat it like, is this guy worth $40 million or isn't he? And I don't want the cap dictating that decision. I want, is this guy worth $40 million dictating that decision?
What do you think?
I don't think he is. Now, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say he's not worth $40 million. The way NFL salaries are right now, Baker Mayfield signed the exact same contract as Derek Carr. Geno Smith is close. Kirk Cousins was bigger. And we're talking about like the 18th, 19th, 20th biggest contracts in the NFL. So he's kind of getting paid, where he deserves to be paid. I think he's kind of underrated. I don't think the Saints should be paying any quarterback anywhere near that much money. I don't think they should go after Sam Darnold in free agency. I don't think they should want to pay any quarterback $40 million with their current state of the team.
Okay, so what do they do at quarterback next year? Because I'm with you, and I'm assuming, and I'm just being blindly and willfully ignorant here and hoping that the New Orleans Saints cut Derek Carr. So what do they do at quarterback?
Well, I mean, the first thing is, if you do it, you really have you're restructuring everyone else on the cap just to fit under the cap. You really don't have much money to play with, so you really can't spend any new money at all. You would have to sign a veteran, but that is one of the good things is veterans come really cheap, $5 million or less. Maybe it's Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe it's bringing Andy Dalton back, maybe it's Justin Fields or Zach Wilson that you're taking a stab on. But you're also probably going with Spencer Rattler for a year and saying, hey, we're taking this year off and retooling. Let's go ahead and throw him out there and let him learn under fire. So I think those two decisions would go hand in hand.
A couple more for you. We always do the exercise, and we'll have more time to do this, but they'll have to get within cap compliance. Who are the primary candidates for a restructure?
Well, restructure is if you're going to play on this team next year, your contract's going to get restructured. It just has to be done to get under the $60 million. So, if you keep everybody, then you don't necessarily have to do it with everyone. But it's sort of like Derek Carr or everybody else, I feel like. But yeah, if DeMario Davis is going to play, they'll restructure. Cesar Ruiz, they'll restructure. I don't even take that. I don't think that kills you for the future. That number actually gets a little smaller every year. The cap goes up every year. That part doesn't worry me as much as who are you paying new money to. The reason you never get out of this is if you just keep paying players new money. And so the big decisions to me, I think, are Derek Carr, number one, Cam Jordan, number two, and he's already said he's willing to take a pay cut. I think that's a very realistic possibility that he takes a very significant pay cut that matches the role of a number three defensive end and a part-time player that he's becoming. And Taysom Hill because of the major injury, and he's got one more year and $10 million left on his deal. I'm curious if the next coach, the next coordinator, his health, his age, I wonder if he's still worth $10 million. But I think DeMario Davis will be back. I think Tyrann Mathieu will be back. I'm very sure Alvin Kamara will be back. And then you're getting down to lower guys who probably won't be back. Maybe one guy out of Nathan Shepard, Colin Saunders, Jamal Williams, like Cedric Wilson. You may be cutting a few of those guys, but they're making very small salaries.
Mike, before you go, who should be the coach? Who will be the coach?
I think Aaron Glenn is definitely a front runner, and I am not worried about that just means they're lazy and they only want to pick people who've worked here before. I'm not worried about that with him because I think there's a main. I think he's probably ranked as the number 3 choice around the league behind Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson for good reason. He's coming from the program that's doing everything right. He's a former Parcells guy. He's the leader of men type, respected by players. Feel like you'll build a culture with him. And I think that's what the Saints need. I personally like the culture builder path. I think they're going to lean toward the culture builder path. But a lot of these candidates are offensive coordinator types. Cliff Kingsbury, Kellen Moore, Mike Kafka that they're bringing in. So, maybe it'll be about it. Either way, I hope it brings a new identity to the team because that's what they so badly need.
That is the concern with bringing in someone with ties to the Peyton Breeze era is it doesn't change the identity, but I tend to agree with you.
I feel like Aaron Glenn would, though. Just because he worked for them, I don't think it'd be like hiring Joe Lombardi. You know what I mean? It's like Aaron Glenn was here for 4 years, but I don't think he is, a Xerox of Sean Payton.
Mike Triplett, neworleans.football. You'll get him on Twitter at Mike Triplett. And, of course, our chats all year brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. Hey, man, we appreciate you for doing this every Thursday. It's always a lot of fun and insightful, and we'll catch up somewhere down the road.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks so much for watching the video. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell so you're notified when we post a new video, and remember to support BetUS, where right now you can get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use that promo code YouTube150.